So if you want to know how I actually was able to take down my locks by combing them out, I've had them for 13 years, and actually initially I looked up a lot of videos on how to do it, and they said you needed water and some conditioner and a rat tail comb. But I noticed that the back, it took me forever with this method until finally my husband was like, why don't you use your crochet needles and see if you can pluck through the knots that way? Because that's simply what you're doing when you're combing through your locks. You're plucking through the actual knots that your hair has matted together over the years to form that lock. But this is actually what I used, and I did it dry. I am going to share some pictures eventually on how much hair I actually shedded. But to be honest, I think I shedded more hair with the conditioner and the wet method opposed to the dry method. This baby right here made me move so much faster. I know my first video I said it took me 3 weeks. I was dead tired. It literally only took me 2 weeks. I had to ask my husband, like, how many weeks have I been doing this? Because literally from the time I would get off work at 5 till about 3 o'clock in the morning every day, that's all I was doing. So shout out to my husband, because he held down the house those 2 weeks. He did all the cooking, he did all the cleaning, all the laundry, and it was definitely a big help to me, so that way I could focus on what I needed to focus on. So if you're thinking about combing out your locks, a few things to think about. You are going to shed hair. That's just inevitable. It's a given, because you haven't combed your hair in how many ever years you've been locked. So duh, you're going to shed hair. 2, you need to figure out what you're going to do after you comb out your locks. Are you going to remain natural, or are you going to go to a relaxed state? I just really wanted something new and different. 13 years is a long time to have your hair done a certain way. I've tried multiple colors. I've tried pipe cleaner curls. I've tried updos. And honestly, it was just my time to be free from the locks and try a new hair journey for myself. And as I'm getting older, I do turn 34 in June. So I just wanted a new look. And so that was it. That was my real quick tips on if you're thinking about combing out your dreads. You're going to need a comb. I didn't use this. I tried it with the wet method. Literally, this was the most frustrating part. It takes a lot of patience. But eventually, once I popped the seal with this crochet needle, and I made sure that the hook on it was actually facing towards me. So I used an angle method as far as combing through the knot in the lock. Once I broke down the actual bottom part of the lock, then that's when I used this bad boy, and I was able to just comb. Now your hair may be hurting because I had a headache. But I did notice once I got up to my roots area, I did use some detangling spray. I actually bought some kid version of the detangling spray. But yeah, I bought all of this conditioner, and I told my mom I'm gonna have plenty to give to her, because I definitely did not like that method. And that's pretty much what it is. You got to find out which method works best for you, depending on the type of texture your hair is actually locked in. But thank you again for tuning in. I am about to do a reveal, so stay tuned for the next video of once I combed out my locks. Thank you. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. That way you can go on this new journey with me. Ask me any questions.